students, welcome to Time's online session. So in this session, we are looking into discussion of reasoning section of the mock test that was conducted from 7th to 8th June 2025, which is an all India mock test held for IBPS RRBPO scale 1. Okay, this is the reasoning section discussion. Right. So here in the first set, we have a certain number of persons sit in a row and all of them are facing north. The following information is known. So we do not know the exact number. So we'll develop our arrangement based on the information. Only 5 persons sit between G and D. So only 5 persons between G and D. Okay. So you can either consider G, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and D, or you can also have D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then G. So these are the two arrangements we get. 5 persons between G and D. And then he says only 1 person sits between D and E. And then he also says that D sits 6th from the left end. So there is 1 person between D and E, and D should be 6th from the left end. Okay. So if D has to be 6th from the left end, in the above case, you already have 3 plus, see here, including G, I can say D is the 7th person from the left end. But I don't want D as the 7th person. I need D as the 6th person from the left end. So that is why the above arrangement is ruled out. Now in the below arrangement, now I have to include 5 people before D, so that from the left end, D becomes the 6th person. Correct? But he also says 1 person between D and E. So we need to check. So because on both sides of D, leaving a gap of 1 person, you can fix E. Correct? So we'll come to that. Then C sits 4th to the right of G. So to the right side of G. So C should be in the 4th position. C should be in the 4th position. Okay. Then we have C sits to the right side of F. Okay. So F, and on the right side of F, you need a C. So F could be in any position. We'll look into that. Now 4 persons sit between F and G. So there are 4 people between F and G. So if there are 4 people between F and G, and I know that C should be on the right side of F, so then leave a gap of 4 people. So F has to sit adjacent to D. Then only C will be on the right side of F. And then there are 4 people between F and G. Correct? Then B sits 3rd to the left of F. Okay, on the left side of F, 3rd position we have is B here. Then H sits at one of the extreme ends. Now H is at an end, but which end we don't know. We will see. Okay. Right. And now we can fix 1 person between D and E, because there is already 1 person between D and B. Now there is 1 person between D and E. So you can fix E adjacent to F. Correct? So that also is satisfied. Okay. Then the number of persons sitting to the left of F is same as number of persons sitting between G and H. So left side of F should be same as the number of persons between G and H. Now we know that on the left side, this will be our left end, because we already know that D is 6th from the left end. So the left end is already fixed. So on the left side of F, how many people are there? We have 3 plus 3, 6 people are there. That means between G and H also, I need to have 6 people. Correct? Between G and H. So then I cannot take H on the left side of G. I have to take H on the right side of G. Why? Because H has to be at an end. Correct? So now we already have after G on the right side, there are already 4 people. I need to add 2 more people and then you can put H. So this is identified as the right end. So H is sitting at the end like this. Okay. Then 4 persons sit between A and E. A does not sit adjacent to B. Okay. So A is not adjacent to B. So you can rule out A in the adjacent positions of B. But he says 4 persons sit between A and E. So then A will be given adjacent to G. Because on adjacent to B, you cannot have A. So 4 persons between A and E. This is how we get our final arrangement. And if I count the total number, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So totally there are 19 persons in the arrangement. Okay. Yeah, so let's have a look into the questions. Now, how many persons sit between E and H? So between E and H, how many are there? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 persons. Third option. Okay. Then who sits third to the right of A? So third to the right of A. So on the right side of A, third position, you have is C. First option. Okay. Then how many persons sit in the row? We know we have counted 19. Okay. Yeah. Then next, consider the given statements to be true and find which of the 2 conclusions follows the given statement. So we have symbols and notations. So the statement is given to you and the conclusions x greater than or equals p. So I need to find a relation between x and p. But here I already have a relation from p to x. So find a relation from p to x, then we can identify. So we have for the first one, p greater than g equals x. So because equal to is there, I can replace g with x. So I will get p greater than x. And once I reverse it, I'll get x less than p. But I don't have that. So conclusion 1 does not follow. Now I need a relation from A to G. So here I have a relation from A to P and then P to G. Correct? So for conclusion 2, I have A equals P and then P greater than G. Now for equal to, we can simply replace P with A. So basically I'll get A greater than G, which is exactly what I have. So my answer is only 2 follows. Choice 2. Okay. Find a relation, you'll get your answer. Then next, right, I need a relation from J to D. So here I have J to E and then E to P and P to D. So let me take that. So now J to E, you are going in the reverse. So you have to reverse the inequality. So I have J less than E. Then remaining is, as usual, less than or equals P equals D. So less than or equals P equals D. Now for equal to, you can simply replace P with D, and for the remaining, less than is common. So we only consider less than. So J less than D is what we have, and that is precisely available. So it follows. Now from B to D, I want. So you go from B to E in the forward direction and then E to D also in the forward direction. So you keep the inequalities as it is. So for the second one, we have B greater than E and then E less than or equals B equals D. Correct? So now here, unfortunately, what is happening? You have opposite inequalities. So whenever you have opposite inequalities, we will never get any relation. So you can straight away say does not follow. So my answer is only 1 follows. Correct? Yeah. Then next, I need from Q to U. So I have Q to P in the reverse, and then P to V and V to U in the forward direction. So Q to B in the reverse. So for the first one, I have Q greater than or equals P, because here you have less than or equal to, you reverse it, greater than or equals to. Then I have P greater than V and V equals U. So P greater than V and V equals U. So equal to, you replace the given alphabet, and for the remaining, greater than we will consider. So that means Q greater than U, which is precisely what we have. So one follows, correct? The next we have is T to V. Okay. So here I have T to S in the reverse, then S to P and P to V, that also in the forward direction. So now T to S in the reverse, less than becomes greater than. So for the second one, T greater than S, and from S, everything is greater than P, greater than V. So throughout, greater than is common. So that means between T and V, greater than happens. So T greater than V. So I can say both follow. Correct? Yeah. Then, now here, if you observe, the first one can also be written as a D equals B. Correct? B equals D, D equals B, both are same. So if you look into the conclusions, both have the same starting element and ending element, B to D to B. So I'll start from D to B. So I take from D to K in the reverse. So I have D equals K. And then from K, again, I'll put everything in the reverse. Correct? So I have K greater than or equals J, and then equals B. So for both 1 and 2, I can make use of the same expression. Everything is in the reverse. So now here, for equal to, we simply replace. So when I replace, I'll get D greater than or equals B. That means I have D greater than B or D equals B. So that means you will have your answer as either 1 or 2 follows. Okay. Correct? Yeah. Then next, yes, D to P first. So here I have D to G in the forward direction, and everything else is in the reverse direction. So for the first one, I have D less than G in the forward, and from G again, I have to take it in the reverse. So equal to will be equal to, and greater than becomes less than P. So equal to is simply for replacing. For remaining, you have less than common. So I will get D less than P, which is a perfect match. So 1 follows. Now let's look at the second, H less than or equals Q. Okay. So now here I have H to G in the forward direction and G to Q in the forward direction. So for the second one, I have H equals G and G less than or equals Q. Correct? So I can replace G with H. So I will have H less than or equals Q, which is also a perfect match. So I can say both 1 and 2 follow. Okay. Yeah. Right. Then next, coming to box arrangement. He says 9 boxes are placed one above the other, not necessarily in the same order. The box that is placed at the bottom is numbered 1, placed immediately above 1 is 2, and so on. The topmost box is numbered 9. So we can fix the box numbers like this: 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So these are our box numbers. First box is placed at the bottom. Then next is immediately above 1. Like that, the topmost box is numbered 9. Okay. Now, it says box E is placed in an odd numbered position. Okay. So E in an odd number means there are many odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Actually 5 odd numbers are there. So E can be available in any one. So E is odd number. We'll come to that. Now A is placed 3 boxes above B. So A is 3 boxes above B means like this. Third box above B is A. Okay. Which means the immediate before B is placed immediately above E. So B is placed immediately above E. Then from there, I can say that there are a minimum of 4 boxes above E. Correct? So there are a minimum of 4 boxes above E. Then in that case, the only thing you can now look into is E cannot happen in the 9th position. Correct? And E cannot happen in the 7th position. So it is 1, 3, and 5. These are the 3. Okay. Yeah. So let's take that. So if I take E in the first, then B in the second, then leave a gap of 2 boxes, then you have A. So this is 1. Then other possibility, you have E in the third, B in the fourth, then leave a gap of 2, A in the 7th. Okay. And then there is one more possibility. You can have E in the 5th, B in the 6th, leave a gap of 2. You can have A in the 9th. So these are the only 3 even numbers that will be available for E. Sorry, 3 odd numbers that will be available for E. Then immediate next he says box G is placed below box B, but not at the bottom. So G has to come below B, but G is not 1. Now I can straight away rule out the first possibility because below B there is only 1 box and that already is E. So it is not possible. Then the second position or in the second possibility, I can now definitely fix G only in position number 2 because 1 is not available for G. And in position possibility number 3, you can have G placed in either 2, 3, or 4 positions for the box G. Correct? So let us further see what he says. Now 3 boxes are placed between C and G. And at least 2 boxes are placed above C. Okay. So 3 boxes are placed between C and G. Okay. So there are 3 boxes between C and G, and at least 2 boxes are placed above C. So minimum 2, you can have more also. That means you can do it in the reverse also. G, 3 boxes, C. So anyways, you need to have minimum 2 boxes above C. You already have 4 here. So both cases can be identified. Okay, so let's see. Now in the second possibility, G is already fixed in the second. So C has to come above. So 3 boxes, then you need to give C in position number 6. And then you have 3 boxes above. Okay, that is fine. Now in the third possibility, we understood that G can occupy second, third, or fourth. So if I take G in the second position, then leaving a gap of 3 boxes, you already have B available. So G cannot occupy the second position in the third possibility. Correct? Now, if I take G in the fourth position, then leaving a gap of 3, you have to put C in the 8th position. But then above C, I need minimum 2 boxes, which is not possible. So that means the only position is you give G in the third position, so that leaving a gap of 3, you can put C in the 7th position. And then above C, you have 2 boxes. So minimum 2, starting number is 2. That way, C and G can be fixed in the third possibility. Understood? Yeah. Then box D is placed above F. Okay. So we have D to be placed above F. Now above need not be immediate above. Okay, further. And so whenever you have and or but, it refers to the first box. That is D. Is placed in an even numbered position. So D should be given to an even number. Okay, so D is above F, and if D has to be in an even number, the only even number available in the second possibility is 8. So then D will be here, and F can be either in the fifth or first. Now in the third possibility, the even numbers that you have are 2 and 4. Also 8 is available. So D can occupy in any one of those, and F can come below. So we'll have to check. Okay. Then further, he says more than 2 boxes are placed above I, which means I is placed above F. So he says I is placed above F. Okay, I should be above F, and more than two boxes should be there above I. Okay, so then if you look at the second possibility, I know now that F cannot be, okay, F cannot be given in the fifth position because I has to be above F, and above I you need 2 boxes. So you need to now have I in the fifth and F in the last. Okay. Then the remaining you are going to have is H. So H will be in the topmost. Now what about the second case? Now in the second case, we need to combine these. So D has to be even number. Then below D, somewhere in between D and F, you need to have I. Correct? And there is one other information, the last information, we'll also check that H is to be placed below F. So H has to be placed below F, but unfortunately in the second possibility, H is placed in the topmost, which is not possible. So H should come below F. Then in that case, now D will be given in the 8. Then between D and F, you need I. And now H has to come below F. So it is DIFH. These are the 4 boxes available in that particular order. So first D, then I, then F, and then H. And that way we get our final arrangement. Okay. Yeah. Now based on that, let's have a look into the questions. Now which box is placed at the 5th position from the bottom? So 5th position from the bottom you have is E. So box E, choice 4. Then which box is placed immediately below D? Okay, immediately below D you have is C. Box C, choice 2. Okay. Then how many boxes are placed between C and H? Okay. Now between C and H, how many are there? Let us count. 3, 4, 5 boxes are there between. So it is more than 3. Okay. More than 3. Then which box is placed at the top? So if you check which is at the top, A is at the top. And that is choice 1. Then 4 of the following 5 are alike in a certain way and hence form a group. Find the one which doesn't belong to the group. So it's an odd man out question or a classification. So I need to see which among these is not belonging in the group. So we have A, C, F, E, H. So let us check. So A, C, F, E, H. So A is here, C is here, F, E, and H. Okay, now if you look at the positions, H is box 1, F is box 2, E is a 5, C is a 7, A is 9. So I can say F is going to be our answer because except for F, remaining all are in odd positions. Correct? So except F, remaining are odd number positions. That is the common pattern we have. Okay. Yeah. Right. Now next coming to coding decoding. So here this is sentences are given and codes are given. So we need to take the list of words and the codes so that we can answer. Okay, so let's take the list of codes. So I have some, then people, never, tired. That is the first sentence. Now I will not repeat the words that I have already written. I will only write different words. Now people I have already written more, then active, okay, and users. Right. Then tired I have already written. Neighbor is what you need to write. Lose, again we'll have to write. And more. Okay, more is already written. I will not write it again. Then more, their, active, neighbor. So more is already there. Their, THEIR, that is a new word. Active is already there. Neighbor is already there. So these are all your different set of words that you have. So now based on these repeated words, we need to find the codes and take it. So we'll look into the codes and then we'll take those codes. Okay. Right. So now the word some is not repeated anywhere. Okay. So the code also should not be repeated anywhere. But at the same time, if you look at another word, never, never is also not repeated anywhere. So the code also should not be repeated. So for both the some and never, there should be two codes in that sentence, which is not repeated anywhere. Correct? So which is that KA is one, PA is repeated, RA is repeated, so CA. So it is KA or CA. For never, CA or KA, one among these two. Correct? Now, what is repeated? People is repeated. Now, in that, PA is repeated. So for people, we take the code as PA. Correct? Right. Then next, for the word tired, tired is also repeated in first and third. So the code that you need for that is RA. So for tired, it is RA. Correct? Then for the word more, now more is repeated in second, third, and fourth sentences. So what is the code that is repeated there? TA is not repeated, HA is not repeated, but if you look at SA, SA is definitely repeated. Okay, you need to take the codes orally like this, making the list. Okay, then active. Now active is repeated in second and fourth sentence. So TA is not there, PA is not there. HA, if you check, it is repeated. Second and fourth sentence, correct? And then users, that's the only remaining word. And the only remaining code you have is a TA. So you take TA as the code. Correct? Then next we have is neighbor repeated in third and fourth. The codes SA is already written. DA, yes, DA is what we can use for neighbor. Then lose is not repeated. Now the only code remaining there is DA is already written, SA and RA is already written. So it is for lose, it is MA. And then active, there is the only remaining word in the last. And for that we have is BA. So that way we can take the codes. Correct? Because when you have these codes, you can answer all the questions without going back to the sentences again. Okay. So now let's look into the questions. He's asking what is the code for never. So there is no one code for it. It's either CA or KA, which is there in the fifth option. Then which word is coded as SA? So for SA, the word we have is more, and that's available in choice 2. Okay. Then what is the code for there and active? So there is BA, active is HA. So it is BA, HA. Choice 4. Okay. Then what can be the code for never there space? Okay. So for never, we know it is CA or KA, correct? For there, we know is RA. Sorry, for there, we know is BA. And space is a new word, correct? It's a new word. We don't have the space given in our list of words. So I need a new code. So along with BA, which is compulsory, one among CA or KA should be there. And then I need to have a new code. Okay. So BA is available in the first option. Along with that, KA is also there in the first option. And then you have GA. Is GA a new code? Do I have GA anywhere in the list of codes? I don't have. So then GA is accepted as the new code. So then you can choose first option. Because in none of the other options, you find the code BA that should be compulsorily given for the word there. So that way you can eliminate the remaining options. BA is not available. Okay. Right. Choice 1. Then coming to next, we have 8 persons sitting around a circular table. Among them, 5 are facing the center, remaining are facing away. So among 8 people, which is an even number. So even number means we will have opposites. Among those 8 members, 5 are facing the center, remaining 3 are facing away. Okay, so let's take that. So 8, you will have 4 pairs of opposites. Correct? Now let's see. The following information is known. S sits second to the left of P, who means it is P is adjacent to R. Now if S has to be second to the left of P, P can either be facing the center, and straight away we can take one more case where P can also be facing away from the center. Correct? Like this. Now S is second to the left of P. Now for towards the center clockwise, second position. For away from the center, anti-clockwise, second position. So S is fixed, but the direction of S is unknown. But he says who is adjacent to R. So P and R will be adjacent. So for now, let us consider PR will be adjacent. Now both adjacent positions of P are available. So let us come back to it later. Then W sits to the immediate right of P. Okay. Now, in the first case, it is anti-clockwise direction right. In the second case, clockwise direction is the right. Then one adjacent is already fixed. So the other adjacent, now I can fix it as R. Correct? So W is immediate right of P. And means it refers to the first person, is not adjacent to V. So W cannot be adjacent to V. Okay. So one adjacent is already P. The other adjacent for W cannot be V, not adjacent to V. Okay. Then further, only one person sits between Q and R. Okay. Only one person between Q and R. You already have one person between R and W. So position of Q can be fixed as an adjacent to S, one person between Q and R. Correct? Then okay, immediate neighbors of P, and we know P's direction. So the other neighbor should be opposite to the direction of P. So P is facing the center, the other neighbor should be away, and here P is away. So the other neighbor of W should be towards, facing opposite directions. Correct? Fine. Then U does not sit opposite to R. Okay. So U is not opposite to R means U has to be opposite to P in both cases. Okay. Or it can also be opposite to S, correct? So fine. Let us not fix them. I did not see that opposite available. Okay. U is not opposite to R means U can be opposite to P, or U can be also opposite to S. Okay. Right. So we'll fix that. U and R not opposite. Okay, that much we can consider. Fine. Further, Q and U face different directions. Okay, Q and U face different directions. Okay, we'll come to that. So we have Q and U, different directions. Then R and W face same directions. Okay, so we have R and W, same directions. Okay, then the person who sits opposite to R faces the opposite direction as R faces. Okay, person opposite to R faces the direction which is opposite to R's direction. So we have R and opposite R is different directions. Okay. Right. And then S and Q face opposite directions. Okay. So now he's saying S and Q face opposite directions. Okay. Right. So now let us see where you can have this. Okay. Right. So now here we have P and R adjacent, we have fixed. U and R are not opposite, he said, correct? Yeah. U does not sit opposite to R. Okay. So if U does not sit opposite to R, where can I have U? Okay. And one other thing we know is V is not adjacent to W. Correct? So V is not adjacent to W. U is not opposite to R. That is there. Okay, then who are the three available persons? Because see, there are three available positions. Who are the remaining three people? The remaining three people are, you have U, V, and T. These are the three people. Okay, right. So now we need, now at the beginning, we should also not forget that there are 5 people facing the center and remaining are facing away from the center. Okay, yeah. Right. Now here we have R is third to the right of V. That is also there, correct? So R is sitting third to the right of V. So compulsorily, because R's position is already fixed, V will be fixed here. Because if R is in the third position from V, we also should be in third position from R, correct? That is what we had here. See, R is third to the right of V, correct? So if R is in the third position from V, we should also be in the third position from R. That way we can fix the position of V there, right? And I need a right side of V. So if I want to count the right side of V, on the left side possibility, V should be towards the center. On the right side possibility, V should be away from the center. Then only right side of V, third position, you will have R. Now I can fix U opposite to S in both cases. And then the remaining person is T, opposite to R. Now the directions we can say Q and U different directions. Now since U is given, Q will be opposite to U. And then we have R and W same direction. Okay, we'll come to that. Then R and opposite to R, different directions. So now since we know that there are 5 people facing the center, so let us take R and W here facing the center. Then T will be away from the center. Correct? And then S and Q opposite direction. So S also will be away from the center. So check, am I getting 5 people facing the center here? So we have R, P, W, V and Q. Yes, there are 5 people facing the center, 3 people away. Now here what happens if R and W are facing the same direction? See, since V and P are already facing away, I cannot give away because I know there are only 3 people facing away. So V and R should also be towards, correct? Then in that case, we have R and opposite to R different. So T will be away. Correct. And then S and Q opposite. So S will be towards. So here, unfortunately, I am not getting 5 people as towards the center because there are only 4 people towards the center. The remaining are away from the center. Correct. So only the left-hand side is available for us. Understood? Yeah. Okay. So now look into the questions. Now, who sits immediate right of T? Okay. Now we know T is facing away, right is clockwise, immediate right you have is U, first option. Then who sits opposite Q? So opposite to Q you have is W. So third option. Then who sits third to the left of S? So left side of S, third position. Now S is away from the center, left is anti-clockwise. So third position you have is W. In the anti-clockwise direction, you have W in the third position. So it is W. Okay. Now, which of the following statements is or are true? He says. Okay. So he says W faces away from the center. Is that happening? No, W is not away from the center. So this is false. I need an option that is true. Now U is immediate right of W. Is that correct? That is correct. Because W is facing the center, right is anti-clockwise, and U is in the immediate position of W in the anti-clockwise. So this is true. Now, if that is true, in the fifth option, he says both 2 and 4, correct? So we will directly check the fourth one because 2 definitely is a part of my answer. Now, R and T face the same direction. No, R and T are not facing the same direction. So that is false. That means the only option you choose is the second. Correct? Yeah. Then next, 4 of the following 5 are alike in a certain way and hence form a group. Find the one that does not belong to that group. So it's again an odd man out or classification question. We have VW, QPU. So we'll have to look into the directions. So we have V towards, W towards, Q is also towards, P is also towards, but U, if you check, is away. So that means except for U, remaining all are facing center. That is the common logic. Okay. Right. Then, yes. Now coming to this, he says if in the number, okay, so we have the number 539246917. He says 1 is subtracted from the digits in the first, third, fifth, and seventh positions from left to right. So in the first, then in the third, then in the fifth, and in the seventh, 1 is subtracted. And 2 is added to the remaining digits. So for the remaining digits, you are adding 2. Now, if I do that, we have a 4, 5, 8, 4, 3, 8, 8, 3, and 9. Then he's asking which of the following digits is or are repeated at least twice in the new number, at least 2 times. What are the digits that are repeated? 4 is repeated, 3 is repeated, and 8 is repeated. So only 3, 4, and 8 is the answer we choose. Follow the instructions, you'll get your answer. Okay? Right. Then 4 of the following 5 letter clusters are alike in a certain way and hence form a group. Find the one that doesn't belong to that group. So it's a odd man out question. So if I take the first option, that is B, H, and J, we need to identify a logic. So you have 2, 8, and 10. So maybe I can say this is plus 6 and plus 2, correct? Then likewise, you have K, Q, and S. We have 11, 17, 19. So here also I can say plus 6, plus 2, correct? Then D, J, and L. So you have 4, 10, and 12. So here also I'm getting plus 6 and plus 2. Then you have M, S, and U. 13, 19, and 21. So here again plus 6, plus 2. Then we have P, V, and Z, which is 16, 22, and 26. So here I'm getting plus 6 and plus 4. So I can say option 5 is not belonging in the group, because for the remaining, the difference that you have in between is plus 6 and plus 2. Yes? Yeah. So choice 5. Okay. The next one, yeah, we have is 8 persons live in a 4-storied building. Each floor has 2 flats, flat 1 and flat 2. On any floor, flat 1 is west of flat 2. West is nothing but left side. Okay. And he says ground floor is considered floor 1, floor immediately above ground floor is floor 2, and so on. Flat 1 on floor 2 is immediately above flat 1 on floor 1, and west of flat 2 on floor 2, and so on. Okay, only 2 persons live on each floor and only 1 person lives in each flat. Okay, so let's take the arrangement first. We have 4 floors and 2 flats per floor. Okay, so we have 4, 3, 2, 1, flat 1 and flat 2. Okay, so now we need to see who comes in which flat. So this is floor and this is flat. Okay, right. The following information is known. V lives in a flat that is immediately below the flat in which Q lives. So when you have multiple flats available, we need to be very careful as to what immediately he is talking, or the condition is with respect to flat or a floor. Are you understanding? So here it is about the flat. So V is immediately below the flat in which Q lives. So that means their flat number is the same and the floors are consecutive floors. But which flat are they on? We don't know. So it is about the flat that he is talking here, immediately below flat. Correct? Then neither T nor V lives on the second floor. Okay. Neither T nor V lives on the second floor. If V cannot be on the second floor, then I can clearly say that Q cannot be on the third floor, because immediately below Q, you need V. Yes. So Q can be ruled out on the third floor. Then one floor is there between the floors on which Q and T live. See, he's clearly saying one floor is there between the floors on which Q and T live. Okay. So now it is about the floor. So one floor is there between Q and T. Now, since he's talking about the floor, we cannot decide they will be in the same flat number. Not necessary. They can be in the same flat number, means both belong to flat 1, or both can belong to flat 2, or one in flat 1, the other in flat 2, in any combination. But there is one floor between Q and T. Now, since Q cannot occupy the third floor, okay, T cannot occupy the first floor. And since T cannot occupy the second floor, Q cannot occupy the fourth floor. Are you understanding the point? Okay. So now what we need to do? So we now have to consider either Q is in flat 1, floor 1 or floor 2. But if Q is in floor 1, then V cannot be fixed. Are you understanding the point? So if Q is in floor 1, you cannot fix V because V is immediately below Q. Correct? So the only possibility is Q has to be given in floor number 2. So straight away, I can now have two cases. Why? Because I don't know which flat Q is going to be in. So I will have to consider both the cases. So based on the elimination and the given information, we have eliminated Q in all the other floors except the second floor. So in the first case, I can give Q in flat 1, then V also in flat 1. Similarly, Q and V in flat 2. But which flat is T? I don't know. Because the condition with respect to Q and T is only with regards to floor. So T can be in flat 1 or flat 2. I don't know. But I can guaranteely say that T is on the 4th floor. Based on the given data, there is one floor between Q and T. So T has to be on floor number 4. That much is very clear. Understood? So T is 4th floor. That much is clear. Understood? Yeah. Further. P lives in a flat that is to the east of the flat in which T lives. So P should be to the east of T. East is nothing but right side of T. Now there are only two flats. Now this will confirm that T and P have to occupy like this. Then only P is on the east side of T. Correct? So in both cases, T will be given in flat 1, P will be given in flat 2 of floor 4. Correct? Then R and U live in different numbered flats. Okay, so we have R and U, different number flats. Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, then W lives above the floor on which R lives, and means it again refers to the first person, that is W, does not live on floor 3. So W is above R, but W cannot be on floor 3. So we have W above R and W is not the 3rd floor. W cannot be given on the 3rd floor. Okay. So if W has to be given above R, then and W cannot be given on the 3rd floor, 4th floor is already occupied. So W has to be given only on the 2nd floor. Now W cannot occupy the 1st floor also because the condition was W is above R. So R compulsorily occupies the 1st floor, the remaining flat. So this is how we get it. Correct. And the earlier line, what we had, R and U were different numbered flats. Correct. Now, since R is in flat 2, then U will be in flat 1. Here, since R is in flat 1, U will be in flat 2. And who's the remaining person we have is PQRS. So S will occupy. Correct. So there are still one more condition. Says S does not live immediately below the flat in which T lives. He says does not live. Now see, unfortunately, in the second right-hand side possibility, S is immediately below T. So I cannot have it. S does not live immediately below the flat. See, he says S does not live immediately below the flat. S can come immediately below the floor. There is a lot of difference there. Please be very careful. So the first case is definitely available. S is immediately below the floor in both cases. But in the second case, S is immediately below the flat also. So basically he's saying S and T cannot be in the same flat number. That is the understanding. Got it? So we have our final arrangement. Okay. Right. Then questions. Who lives immediately below the flat in which P lives? So immediately below flat of P is S. 5th option. Correct. Then who lives in flat 1 of floor 3? Let us check. Flat 1 of floor 3 is U. Correct? Yeah. Choice 2. Then in which flat and on which floor does W live? So which flat and which floor? Flat 2, floor 2 is W. Flat 2, floor 2. Third option. Then who lives on floor 4? Okay, floor number 4, we have T and P. First option. Correct? Right. So those are the questions you have in that arrangement. The next one, this is a direction sense-based question. It says some tables are placed on the ground. Okay, so we have table B is 26 meters to the east of A. East is right side of A. Okay, so we have A, B is on the east side, that is right side, and the distance is 26. Then which means A is 10 meters north of E. So above E, you have A 10 meters, correct? Then table D is 12 meters north of H. So I don't know where D is or H is. We'll put it separately. So D is above H and the distance is 12. We'll come to that. Then C is 9 meters east of H. East is right side of H, is C 9 meters. So the connection of D, H and C is given like this. Then we have L 13 meters south of B. Okay, 13 meters south of B you have is L. Now we need to take the distances correctly. We know that this is 10. So there is another 3 more. So total 13 meters you have L. Correct? Now, which means B is 10 meters south of G. So B is below G 10 meters like this. Yes? Okay. Now, E is 10 meters west of D. West is left side of D is E. Now, since E is left side of D and the distance is 10 meters. Now, since E is already fixed for us, now we can fix D, H and C. So, I'll take 10 meters. Then you have D. Then H is below 12 meters. Correct? H is here 12 meters. Now, in that 12 meters, again, you need to be careful. You already have 3 here. So, the balance is 9. Correct? And then you have C, 9 meters. So we have C, 9 meters. Okay. So we need to be careful while looking into the distances. Okay. So that means now check here. This is 10. Then this is 9. So total 19 is there. So the balance that I have here is going to be 19. If I subtract, you get 7. Correct? So that balance distance should be identified as 7. Okay. Then finally we have F is to the north of H. So north is above H. Correct? And means it again refers to the first table, that is F west of G. So it should be north of H and west of G. So that means this is how we will consider. So F is north of H and west side, it means the left side of G. So this total is 16 and this total we have is here 12 plus 10, 22 plus 10. So FH distance total is 32. Okay. So that is how we get our final arrangement. So based on this, now we'll have to answer the questions. Okay. Right. Now look at 29. In which direction is table G? So I need to know the direction of G. So from the other table you check, which is from C. We have to check in which direction is G. So check here. So from C, I need to know what is this direction because G is here. correct? So at C, you can put a plus sign. And what is this direction? You need to check. So the above direction is north, your right direction is east. So in between you have is northeast, correct? So that is what we will consider. Choice 1, northeast. Okay. Then what is the distance between F and H? Yeah, we have already calculated that. So the total distance is 32 and that's available in choice 2. Okay. Then in which direction is L? So I need to know the direction of L. So from the other table you check, which is F. So from F, where is L? So yeah, check here. So this is the direction that I have to check because L is here. So you put a plus sign and I need to know what is this direction. So the downward is south, your right is east. So in between you have is southeast. So that's what we pick, southeast. Okay. Right. Now coming to next, in the directions, in each question, some statements are followed by 2 conclusions numbered 1 and 2. Consider the given statements to be true, even though they seem to be at variance with commonly known facts, and decide which of the conclusions logically follows. So these are syllogisms or deductions. Okay, so let's see this. So we'll have to draw the combined basic diagram for the given statements. So we have all cats are goats. Okay, so all the cats are goats. Then we have only a few cats are dogs. So like this, only a few cats are dogs. So that means that there should be some cats which should not be inside dogs, because that is what is meant by only a few. Only a few means only some. So there should always be some part of cats, never inside dogs. This indication helps you what you have drawn. Okay. And then we have all rats are dogs. Okay. So the complete R should be inside D like this. So this is going to be our combined diagram. Okay. So now let's check the conclusions. First one is some dogs are goats. Are some dogs goats here? Yes, you have a overlapping. So it is a positive conclusion, satisfies your basic diagram. So you say follows. So 1 follows. Now the second one, some cats are not rats. So second one is a negative conclusion, correct? So when you have a negative conclusion, now some cats are not rats. Is it satisfying? Yes. Check. Look at the green color shaded portion. Is it inside the C circle? Yes. Is it inside the R circle? No. So that means you have a negative conclusion, that is a yes in the basic diagram. That means we are now to check the complementary pair of that in the alternate diagram. And the complementary pair we have is all. All cats are rats. Now, what is the problem? If I take all the cats inside rats, now since the rats is already inside dogs, all the cats will also go inside dogs. Am I allowed to do that? No, you are not, because see the blue color indication that I have. It says there should be some cats that never inside dogs. If I take all the cats inside rats, are you understanding my point? Okay. So if I take all the cats inside of rats, since all the rats are inside of dogs, all the cats will also go inside of dogs. But we have a very clear instruction in the second statement that says only a few cats are dogs. So all the cats cannot go inside dogs. Are you understanding? So the alternate diagram fails. So the complementary pair fails. That means the given negative still continues to be a yes. So I can clearly say that conclusion 2 also follows. So my answer for this is both 1 and 2 follow. Understood? Okay. So these indications are very important, so that will help you understand the limitations of moving your diagrams. When he says only a few, that is how you do that. Okay. So choice 5. Okay. Then next, yes. Now again, let's take the combined basic diagram. We have only a few paints are colors. Okay. Only a few paints are colors. So that means there should be some paints that never there inside colors. Correct? And then we have all colors are interiors. Okay. All the colors are interiors, and no interior is a design. Okay. No interior is a design. See, this is again an indication that you make. For no, you put a line from boundary to boundary with an into sign, saying that no overlap is allowed between interior and design. Correct? Yeah. Now let's look into the conclusions. First one is some interiors are paints. Tell me, is interiors paints overlapping? Yes, they are overlapping. So it's a positive conclusion that satisfies. So directly we say it follows. So 1 follows. Correct? Now look at the second one. He says some colors being designs is a possibility. So is it possible to have colors and designs overlap with each other? Now tell me, is it possible to have colors and designs overlap? Okay. See, the interior one is the color circle. Okay. So this is the C circle. So can I do colors and designs overlap? See, like this. It is not possible. Why? Because if I have to overlap with the C circle, D will automatically overlap with the I circle. Means the designs will overlap with interior, which is not allowed. No interior is a design. So colors and design cannot overlap. So is it possible? No, it is not possible. Correct? Had he mentioned is not a possibility, then yes, you will say it follows, because he is also saying not possible. I also got not possible. But since he says is a possibility and I know it is not, so 2 does not follow. So my answer will be only 1 follows. Understanding the point here? Okay. Yeah. So the indication that we have for, no, for some not, and for only some, those indications will help us analyze, can I move the circles around without violating their original relations given in the statements. Understood? Okay. So only 1 follows. Then next, right. Now let's take the combined basic diagram. Only a few shares are stocks. Okay. Only a few shares are stocks. That means there should be some shares never inside stocks. Correct? And then we have all shares are prices. All the shares are prices. Okay. Now let's look into the conclusions. First one says no price is a stock. So how do you check no price is a stock? Price should be separate. Stock should be separate. Do I have P and ST circle separate? No, they are not. So it is a negative conclusion which does not satisfy. So straight away you say does not follow. See, any conclusion, be it positive or negative, if it fails the basic, it can never be your answer. Straight point. So you have to consider the concept of going into alternate diagram with a complementary pair only when a negative conclusion is satisfying your basic diagram. Otherwise, you shouldn't. So here you have a negative conclusion that does not satisfy your basic diagram. So straight away you say does not follow. Understood? Okay. Then next 2 says some prices are stocks. Yes, the P circle and the ST circle are overlapping. So some prices are stocks to satisfy. So only 2 follows will be our answer. Okay. Right. The next one, yes. Coming to the next. we have is some keyboards or mouses. Okay. So some keyboards are mouses, and then no monitor is a keyboard. So no monitor is a keyboard like this. So that's our combined basic diagram. Now coming to the conclusions. Look at the first one, some mouse can be monitors. Now can be is another way of giving is a possibility. So some mouse can be monitors. Can mouse and monitors overlap? Means if I take the monitor circle and overlap it with the mouse circle like this, is it allowed? Because what was my original relation? My original relation is no monitor is a keyboard. Is that still satisfying? Yes, it is still satisfying. There is no overlap between monitor and keyboard. So because I am able to maintain my original relation, it is definitely possible. So can be, yes, it definitely can be possible. Understanding the point here? Okay, yeah. The next, no monitor is a mouse. So second one, which is negative, is definitely satisfying your basic diagram because monitor is separate, mouse is separate. That means you are allowed to go to the alternate diagram and take a complementary pair. And what's the complementary pair for no monitor is a mouse? It is some. Some monitors are mouse, but that we have already proved in the earlier possibility. So some monitor and mouse are definitely overlapping, no problem. I will be able to maintain my original relation between mouse and monitor and keyboard given in the statements. So complementary pair definitely satisfies. That means the given negative will not be satisfying that diagram anymore because the complementary pair is satisfying that diagram. The negative will not satisfy. Now, because the negative is not satisfying, any conclusion not satisfying one of the representations can never be your answer. So conclusion 2 fails. So my answer is only one follows for this. Are you understanding that? Okay. Yeah. So make the necessary indications that will help you analyze the diagrams easily. Okay. Then next, coming to the combined basic diagram, we have only a few plates or pots. Okay. Only a few plates or pots. That means there should be some plates, never inside pots. Okay. Some plates should never be inside pots. Then we have some glasses or plates. Okay. Some glasses are plates. And then all jars are pots. Okay. All the jars are inside pots. So this is our combined basic diagram. Okay. Now conclusions. First one is no jar is a glass. Correct. The first one, which is a negative conclusion, is a yes in the basic diagram. No jar is a glass. Jar is separate, glass is separate. That means that we are allowed to go to the alternate diagram and take a complementary pair. And the complementary pair for no jar is a glass is some jars are glass. Now we need to check, can I have jar and glass partially overlap with each other? All the while I have to maintain its original relation. The original relation is with respect to plate. Some glass are plate. So will I be able to do that? Definitely you can. See, if I move the G circle and help it overlap like this, the original relation G and plate, glass and plate are overlapping. Now, along with that, I am able to satisfy my complementary pair. That means the given negative will never be your answer anymore because I am able to satisfy. Correct? So, you can definitely say conclusion 1 does not follow. Now, let's look at 2 that says all plates being jars is a possibility. So if I take all the plates and put it inside jars, like this, the complete plate, if I put it inside a jar, but we already know that the complete jar is inside pot. That is not possible. Why? Because we clearly have a very clear instruction between plate and pot. Only a few plates are pots. See, that clear indication says there should be some plates. In my combined basic diagram, we have an indication there should be some plates which are never inside the pots. But here all the plates are inside pots. So that is not allowed. Now, because it is not allowed, you say it does not follow, because he says it is possible. He's saying it is possible, so it is not. So that is why we give our answer as neither one nor two. Okay? Neither one nor two. Right. Yes. So those were your questions on deductions. The next again we have is 8 persons working in an organization as chairman, director, ED, RM, GM, DGM, AO, and clerk. Not necessarily in the same order. The given designations are in the same order from senior most cadre to junior most cadre. Director is junior to chairman, ED is junior to director, and so on. Chairman is the senior most and clerk is the junior most among all. Okay. So that information tells us that we need to fix the designations. Okay. So we'll start and we'll fix the designations first. So we have chairman. Then we have director, ED, RM, GM. Director, ED, RM, GM. Then you have DGM, AO, and clerk. So DGM, AO, and clerk. Okay. So these are our designations. Now, based on these, we need to fix the persons. Okay. Yeah. So let's see what he says. Right. Now he says either K or Q is an AO. Okay. So for AO, it is going to be either K or Q. One among these two will be given as AO. Okay. We'll come to that. Then P is either a director or a GM. Okay. So P is either a director or a GM. So in one case, you can fix P as a director. And in the other case, you can fix P as a GM. Correct? So P is either a director or a GM. Then N is neither an ED nor clerk. So N is neither ED nor clerk. Okay? Right. Then we have the number of persons senior to N is same as number of persons junior to O. So senior to N should be same as junior to O. Okay. So N and O will have to occupy the same positions from opposite ends. That is what he means. Are you understanding? Senior to N is same as junior to O. So number senior means above. So number above N is same as number junior. Junior means below O. So N and O has to occupy such positions in the table that are same from opposite ends. Means if N occupies chairman first from the top, then O should occupy clerk first from the bottom. That's the understanding. Are you following the point here? Okay. Yeah. So let us see. Now he says O is senior to N. So when he says O is senior to N, so O has to come above N. So if O has to come above N, now look at N cannot be clerk, so O cannot be chairman. Correct? So in the first case, O cannot be chairman, O cannot be director. Now if I take O as ED, then you can have N as DGM. Are you understanding the point? Then if I take O as RM, then I can have N as GM because those are the same positions from opposite ends. Now in the second case, you cannot have O as director also. Why? In the second case, I'm saying why? Because AO, look at AO, it is either K or Q. N cannot happen there. Now, in this case, again, okay, if I take O as ED, then I will have N as DGM, and I can rule out O also as RM because you have P given as GM. So you cannot have N in that position. So the only possibility in the second case is you take O as ED and N as DGM. But in the first case, you do have two cases. Are you understanding the point? Okay. Yeah. So let me take that case here itself. So I'll put P in this case. Two cases. So I can have O as ED, N as a DGM, or O as RM, N as GM. So one among these two is what we need to identify. O is senior to N. Then L is junior to M. Okay. So we have L junior to M. Okay. Then Q is junior to J and means the first person, that is Q is senior to L. So we have Q junior to J, but at the same time senior to L. Okay. Q is junior to J, senior to L. Right. Now, when you look at this, see, L is the common person in both. So above L, I need three different people. Then only I can give L. Right? So we will see where that is. Then J is senior to K. Okay, so we have J senior to K. Okay, so J is senior to K. Then we have Q is senior to M, and so we have Q is senior to M. Okay, and is means Q is, because and refers to first person, so Q is neither a director nor RM. So Q cannot be a director, cannot be an RM. So Q cannot be given in those positions. Okay, right. So now what is it that you have to identify is, see, now look at J. J is the common person. And can I say all the remaining persons here are coming below J? Do you agree or not? All the remaining persons are coming below J. Correct? So how many different people are coming below J? We have K, then Q, then M, and L. These are the four different people, K, Q, M, L. Correct? And here I can combine these two and put it as Q, M, and L. Correct? Then what does that tell you? It tells you, see, in the beginning, he clearly said the first condition what we had is either K or Q is AO. Now, can I say Q can never be AO? Because below Q, you have M and L. Two people should come. So that means K has to be fixed as AO in all the cases. Are you understanding the point? Okay. Now, once I do that, now who are the others that I have? So below J, you now have K is anyway fixed. Then you have Q, M, and L. So three people should come below J. So if three people has to come below J, look at the position of J. So in this first case, and as well as in the second case, because now see, in all the cases, how many empty positions are there? 4 empty positions are there. So in those 4 empty positions, these are the persons that you have to fix. J, Q, M, L. What is that order? Correct? So we have J, then you have Q in the second available position, then you have M in the third available positions, and then L in the last position. But since he's clearly saying that Q cannot be a director, cannot be an RM. Now in the third case, if you check, Q is given as a director, not possible. And in the first case, as you can check, Q is given as RM. That is also not possible. So the only possibility we have is going to be the remaining one. So that way we will be able to fix the arrangement. Are you following the point here? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So those are the instructions we have, and this is our final arrangement you get. So it's all about understanding the positions. Okay. Fixing the right parameter helps you analyze the conditions easily. Right. So now question number 37. Who is a DGM? So who is a DGM here? DGM is M. M is a DGM. First option. Okay. Then what is the designation of O? Okay. What is O's designation here? RM. So O is RM. Then how many persons are senior to Q? Senior means we took senior most at the top. So above Q, how many are there? So above Q, there are only 2 people. So 2, third option. Then which of the following statements is true? Now look at the 5th option. You have more than one of the above. We need to check all the options before we finalize. One person is junior to K. Is it correct? Yes. Below K, there is only one person. So this definitely is true. Then J is working as chairman. Is that true? Yes, J is working as chairman. That is also true. Then you can clearly say it is the 5th option, more than one of the above, because first 2 options are true. We need not worry about the others. More than one of the above. Okay. All right. So those were the questions you had in the reasoning section of the All India mock test that was conducted. So hope whatever is discussed is understood. Okay. So that is it. Thank you for attending the session and goodbye.